Paddy, earlier on this evening you presented a very fascinating presentation about the challenges of the technology environment from a Google perspective. Could you just summarise that for people, please?
Sure. Well, I guess from both a Google perspective and my previous experience as a CIO, I tried to marry the two together somewhat. And the challenges for me, I guess, are the first principles. One of my key messages was the first principles remain the same in terms of how you use technology. Yes, it's moving at a great pace, and there's an adoption by consumers and users of technology now faster than it ever was. Things in the mobile space and so on. Applications available in the cloud that people are using all the time. So the challenges are trying to keep pace with that. However, the first principles in terms of how you evaluate technology remain the same. Is it reliable? Is it secure? Is it meeting the business needs? Will people always be able to connect? What happens if they're not able to connect? Can they use the application when they're offline? And I think these challenges remain and are good grounded first principles that should be applied no matter what you do.
And would you say IT departments are fundamentally different now than they were, say, 10 years ago, or do they essentially do the same thing?
I think a lot of it is the same thing. The potential and opportunity is always probably great in terms of what IT is able to offer. What it was able to offer me 20, 30 years ago was very significant from a business impact perspective, as it is today. I think some of the challenges are that users and consumers and people who are now both external to the company and within a business have a greater understanding in their view as to how technology can be used. So there's to a degree a higher level of education, so the challenge becomes greater, and maybe the lines are greyed somewhat. So I think that line of IT being separate from the business is probably not what it was. I think it's very much a greyed space, and IT is a contributor, or an IT department or an IT function is a contributor to where the business is going as opposed to something fundamentally separate to it. So I think that's probably one of the biggest differences that I would see.
Great, thanks very much, Paddy.